Hi folks, welcome back. We still got 2 more markers to work on. Let's proceed with step 81, okay? Firstly, let's set the border color as black explicitly, even though black is used by default. Step 82. Okay, instead of writing the border left's width, style, and color separately, let's write it as one using border left shorthand property. So let's remove width, style, and color, and write all of it in one using border left shorthand property. Step 83. Let's change our boring border to double solid borders. So we gotta change the border style value from solid to double. Step 84. That black color is too dark for our marker's transparent sleeve. We can use RGBA's alpha channel and lower the opacity up to 75% of the black border. Step 85. Okay, our red marker is looking good so far. We gotta repeat the same steps and add the caps and sleeves to our other 2 markers. For that, we can copy the division classes of cap and sleeve and paste it in other 2 marker division classes. Easy peasy. Step 86. So our markers are exposed to light on the center, so obviously it's gonna have some shadow beneath. So let's use box shadow property, which lets us apply 1 or more shadows around an element in whichever direction shadows are supposed to fall with respect to light thrown at the element. If you have edited images or fonts before, you must have come across shadows, and it has these properties like offset X and offset Y. It's same as X and Y axis on a number line. In offset X, positive value moves shadow to right and negative to left. In offset Y, positive moves up and negative moves down. Both offsets accept number values in pixels and other CSS units. If you set both offsets to 0, you're just dumbass person. So now in our red marker, let's add box shadow property and set its offset X to 5 pixels and offset Y to 5 pixels, and red is the color of our shadow. Step 87. That's not a shadow. That looks more like red ink leakage. But don't worry, we are in the middle of the learning process. It's not our final shadow. We just learned how to get down right shadow, and now we're gonna learn how to get up left shadow. Just turn both offsets to -5 pixels, and you'll find that shadow move to the opposite side. Step 88. If you ever looked at a cylindrical shaped marker shadow, you'll find it somewhat blunt and blurry, not sharp like a rectangle. So let's give blurring effect to our green marker by setting value of blur radius option in the box shadow. The syntax is shown in the example code. The default blur radius is sharp edges. Higher the value, more the blurring effect. So to our green marker, let's add box shadow property and set its offset X to 5 pixels and offset Y to 5 pixels and blur radius as 5 pixels and green for color. You're gonna get downright green blurry effect without sharp edges. Step 89. You might have also noticed if you throw light on marker at certain angle, which makes the shadow enlarged. To get such enlarged shadow, we can use spread radius value, which comes after blur radius value in box shadow property. To learn and check how it looks, let's add box shadow property to our blue marker and both offsets and blur radius to 0 and 5 pixels for spread radius and blue as the color. You don't need to add pixels unit for 0 values. In our case, the light is thrown at the center, which makes our marker have shadows on all 4 sides. Step 90. So done with the learning process, now it's time to put our learnings into execution. Let's start with our red marker. In the red marker class selector, update the values for the box shadow property so that both offsets are 0, blur radius is 20 pixels, spread radius is 0, and color is red. Step 91. Our marker doesn't possess neon lighting feature. The shadow needs to be darker. So let's remove normal red color and give it a RGBA function and set the values as 83 for red, 14 for green, 14 for blue, and 0.8 for the alpha channel. Now that's the final product of our red marker. Step 92. Now, the shadows for our green and blue markers will have the same position, blur, and spread. The only difference will be the colors. All values 0 except blur radius, which is 20 pixels. Step 93. If you remember, we used RABA for red marker, hex code for green marker, and HSLA for blue marker. We're gonna follow the same sequence. Let's add hex color code to our green marker instead of normal named green. The value's gonna be 3B for red, 7E for green, 20 for blue, and CC for the alpha channel. Step 94. Green marker is done. Now it's time for blue marker. Replace normal blue with HSLA function and the value's gonna be 223 for hue, 59% for saturation, 31% for lightness, and 0.8% for the alpha channel. And with that, our set of colored markers is complete. Well done, y'all. Be proud to learn all sorts of color styling in CSS. I always tell you guys that you don't need to worry for the recipe, just Google it and you'll be good to go. Okay, we are done with this chapter. In the next chapter, we're gonna learn how to build a registration form. Well, that's all for today, guys. Hope you guys like, share, comment on my videos. Do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any updates. Stay tuned for further chapters. I'll catch you coders in the next one. Peace.